And in the set, you're in your iconic image. You got the Gator chomp going on, and I know you know this because your hand probably remembers signing all those stickers, right? So I don't know if you know this though. You're the only guy in that entire set. So all the college football, the university set that Bowman put out, that has any sort of trademark insignia, any sort of hand motion. You're the only guy they put in that. And so I'm just kind of wondering what you thought about that card when you first saw it, and as you're kind of signing all these autographs and stickers for that card. What's your thoughts?
My thought was it's just a blessing. It's always a dream to have a card, and buy tops and stuff like that. So it's a blessing, and for it to see it out there and like people are buying it and stuff like that, it's truly a blessing. I'm just thankful for it.
Jameel Muhammad and Jeff Cardozo dive into the hobby, which is sports cards, trading cards, as well as all other collectibles, right now on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, live from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Hey everybody, it is that time, the first time here in 2025. Happy New Year to all of you. It is the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, and we are at our usual spot, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill at Celebration Point in Gainesville. He is, of course, Jameel Muhammad. I am Jeff Cardozo, and we are happy to be back here in 2025 because 24 was great. 25 should be even better as we continue to do this thing. And we've got a great start to our podcast as DJ Lagway will join us today. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll go over some of the other stuff first. But obviously an up-and-coming superstar. I mean, you look at, Vegas now and odds for the Heisman next year and all these other things. Lagway is the real deal. And looking forward to that.
Well, Happy New Year to you as well, man. And we're going to start off with a bang with DJ. We'll talk a little bit about his Bowman Chrome card as well, because that's a fun thing for us. It's just a unique card with the Gator chomp on it, and just cards in general with him. And we have a big signing with him at the shop on a few weeks, January 18th. Not even a few weeks, not too long, a week away. I'm losing track of time already, but 2025, Jeff, we made it, man.
We did make it. And 24 was great. I mean, you look at now the college football playoffs and everything that's happening there. You got the NFL playoffs with some rookies, and I know we've talked a lot about these cards and Jaden Daniels and certainly Bo Nix, and I'm sure that they've blown up. But now you see what's going to happen with all them. I mean, what if Lamar all of a sudden wins the MVP again? Do those cards continue, or does Josh Allen finally get one and his cards go up? So, it's fascinating the more that we do this and the more that we understand it and just try to see the ups and downs of what all this is. And all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes doesn't make the Pro Bowl. He sucks. Sell his cards.
Sell me them all. I'll buy them all. Yeah, it's really fascinating to think through football. If I were to say there's something I'm looking forward to in 2025, I know it's right here on the horizon, but just kind of the drama that's going to unfold with this playoffs, and also how that's going to impact the hobby. Because we're talking about the AFC. We even talk about the NFC, right? So the Detroit Lions making the Super Bowl, potentially winning for the first time ever, what that could potentially do for that division. Such a strong division. Sam Darnold, that drama that's going to happen in the offseason with J.J. McCarthy. And then everyone, still Jordan Love cards have kind of been this wild roller coaster. So it's going to be interesting to see on that side. My Bucks, we'll see what happens this weekend. Jaden's coming to town. So
you had to have really liked, though, Mike Evans getting the 1,000 yards. And yes, one catch for 6 or 7 yards gets you $3 million. Yeah. It'd be nice to be that guy, right?
And a big record.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Really cool. Tying Jerry Rice in anything is pretty special.
And for him to do it since his rookie season, I think that's big. A lot of you old heads out there that are mad about the next game, the 17th game. Remember, Mike Evans was out 5 games this year. Right. So it's one of those stats that you could put an asterisk by, but I think don't. And it just couldn't happen to a better guy. He's been a team guy, and he's been one thing that I love is franchise people. Big Cardinals fan, they're always trying to keep their guys, right? You hope to see those guys stick around for a long time. Pujols comes to mind. And with Evans, he's the face of the Bucks for the last decade or plus. And so he's a rookie in 2013, I think it was, and just really carried himself well.
Yeah, I went back and looked because I was like, man, I think Florida in that game that Johnny Manziel was in, Evans was on that team, and then it was 2012 when the Gators beat Johnny Manziel. So I got to see him in person back then. But yeah, Evans only played 2 years of college. I mean, that's how legit that guy was. So yeah, as we look forward to 2025. Certainly, everything that gets started here, who's going to win the national title, is going to be pretty fascinating because Georgia bows out. I mean, every team that had the bye bowed out. Oregon goes away, but I'm still really intrigued because, baseball guy, you gotta love baseball. But, some of these guys and teams and people have moved and different things are happening. I mean, Pete still hasn't signed. Like, what's going to happen with him? Alex Bregman. So, I mean, there's so many fascinating things. They're going to be a part of January and February. They're going to really set the tone for probably this hobby for the entire year.
Yeah, baseball is always one of those just quintessential, top series one. They announced Aaron Judge as the cover athlete the other day. I have a cool video out there with Tops. But the thing about, baseball is it's still a great time to buy.
Yeah.
I always talk about buys and lows, and we're going to look in 2025 to bring some new segments on the podcast and try and give a little bit more to the viewer from that side of, potentially maybe the hot names or the not so hot names. And I think, when you think about baseball prospects and rookies, there's a little bit of a dip going on because everyone's focused on football. Basketball is pretty big right now. Hockey's kind of in the mix of things. So baseball is not a bad time to buy right now and hold on, for the next month or two, and then you'll see it start to really push right before opening day.
And I'm sure people are still buying to try to get a certain patch auto that hasn't been discovered yet. What's up with that? You think there's some rando that's just holding on to it somewhere?
It could be. I think that's the ultimate power move if you pull one of these cards. I mean, everyone knows the Topps Chrome's Stephen Curry Superfractor never got pulled the 101. The Luka Doncic Black 101 Prism has never been seen, but people think that they're out there.
Yeah.
This Skeens card is so interesting because of the hoopla that surrounds it. Another card, too, over the holidays that I think people forgot about was the Connor Bedard Gold 101 from Series 2 Hockey, which there was $1 million bounty out. And the first time we've seen it, David Adams withdrew their bounty.
Really?
So these bounties, it's interesting thinking about the timing of pulling stuff now, and is there more of a rush to pull? Will the Pirates still honor the update Chrome thing? Let's say mid-season next season if Skeens, tears something in his shoulder. I don't want that to happen.
Sure.
But there's things like that you got to think about. So. It's exciting times, man. I'm looking forward to a lot. The Cardinals, young team. Looking forward to seeing how they kind of pan out. Maybe we can make the playoffs next year. And I'm sure you're looking forward to your Braves.
Yeah, certainly so. We'll see if Acuna gets healthy again, and that makes a difference. And a lot of the pitchers were hurt too. So yeah, it's a new start for everybody, and that is what is really cool. And I think what else is cool is all these people bought these packs for Christmas and the wax that was picked up. And I saw a couple of people text me, gosh, man, look at this card I got. This is awesome. Did you see anything in the shop or people get with you on stuff they might have pulled for a Christmas present?
Yeah, you get all the tags on social media of everybody, just all the things their kids opening on Christmas Day, all their big pulls. You got a shout out to Dr. Kevin Farmer. He was one of our guests early on in the podcast, and he was in the shop recently. We were talking about it with his son, and it was just cool talking about what they pulled and what they're going to chase now, and the new products that are coming out, the Bowman Chrome University stuff, Prism football, and so it's just it's a fun rotating, just cycle of people looking to get new cards, grading cards. That's another big thing. And speaking of that, we have some big events coming up in the shop in Q1. So January, February, March, mark your calendars. Each month there's a big event. Our first one we kind of alluded to, January 18th, we have DJ Lagway in the shop for a public signing, which means he'll be in the shop. It's not a private signing. He'll be there signing for people. We're almost sold out of tickets. It's one of these really cool things. We had a mail-in option, Jeff, and so we put it out, and I had 50 slots that I put up. We had 120 emails for that mail-in within 24 hours. So obviously a lot of people aren't going to be able to get the mail-in.
Sure.
So you might have to come out to the event. Then in February, we're going to have that Upstate Card Show again up at Meelypops SC, which another shop, I was talking to people earlier about in the shop, how well not just South Carolina but also Florida did Q4, and it just shows that there's a huge influx of people buying sports cards, and I don't know if you hear that hobby's dead or it's not alive or it's going down, I'm not seeing that at all. I'm just seeing the fervor and the excitement from people growing, ever more. And then lastly, March 28th, I can't announce the guests yet, but it's going to be really similar to the Caleb Dressel event we did with PSA, but PSA is coming back to our shop in Florida, and we're going to have another autograph signer that I'm working on, and I'll give a hint. It's It's a 90s favorite. I'll just say that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
New Kids on the Block.
Maybe. Backstreet Boys. Marky Mark in
the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, why not?
That would be MC Hammer.
LL
That was
Cool
more
J.
80s.
Yeah, get some
MC Hammer was a bat boy for the Oakland A's when he was a little kid.
I didn't know that. Speaking of A's, R.I.P. Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Man, sad.
Certainly sad.
But, man, legend. I think if I were to say between him and Ohtani maybe, with Ohtani pitching, any player that could change the game at any moment. I mean, Ricky on the bases, just changed the game. So wild player, and just a good. His rookie cards, his autograph stuff is. So, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, that's it's certainly sad. So yeah, we lost a lot of good ones in 2024, but there'll be more to go in 2025, and just know that it's going to be a great year though for many people.
I really set you up for that transition, saying R.I.P.
No, that's okay. It's hard, but I would assume in the industry it's a big deal. I mean, with Pete Rose,
sure,
and the stuff that happened with him.
Well, all these guys have a lot of relationships in the hobby after they retire, right? Because people meet them everywhere, and you're working in shops, and they're going all over across the country, and so you get to meet these guys and get to know them for who they are. And so, sad, but it's such is life in a lot of ways. But I'm looking forward to just kind of seeing the new life in the hobby, and as we move into 2025. And it's a little cold here today, Jeff. In Florida.
In the 50s, but certainly better than the 14 inches of snow that I think that Dallas is getting, and the Northeast. Bundle up.
We're struggling at 60 and sunny, so sorry for you guys listening up in the Northeast and the Midwest.
Certainly so. We're not sorry though, because you're going to get to hear from DJ Lagway here in a second. So we'll take a break. We'll come back, and we will have the Florida Gator quarterback with us next on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
This is Jameel, owner of the Meelypop shop, Gainesville's home for collectibles of all sorts, including every single type of sports cards, whether it be Panini, Topps, Leaf, Upper Deck. We have it. Come on in, get yourself a box, a pack, get yourself some supplies, get into our breaks, get your Pokemon, get your Yu-Gi-Oh! All the other different kinds of TCG products that we carry and shop are always fully in stock. You can find our stuff on our website as well, Meelypops.com. That's another way you can interact with the store, or you can just come into the shop. We're located off 39th Avenue by I-75 behind Walgreens and Sonny's. Stop on by. We're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'd love to see you. Come on out to the shop, have some fun, be a part of the card community here in Gainesville, and always go Gators.
We welcome you back to the Meelypod Hobby Podcast. Jameel, Jeff, inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, of course, one of the greatest quarterbacks in University of Florida history, and we're going to have a quarterback here at the University of Florida. Hopes to be amongst that list, and certainly what he did here in his first year in Gainesville, he's got an opportunity to be one of the best to ever do it. That is DJ Lagway joining us here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast. DJ, what's up, man?
How you doing? Yes, sir.
Awesome. Good to have a few weeks off, get the body right, I'm sure, and then now you're back into the grind.
Yep, most definitely, yes, sir. Heading to the 2025 season, so I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
So let's look back on 24. Obviously, you come in here, Graham's here. I know your guys' relationship, and just being around Graham the last year was amazing, and then just to see you two interact, and early on you could tell that you guys had that special bond, but just running out of that tunnel for the first time. I know you've wanted to be in the orange and blue for a few years. What was that like? And, just the whirlwind of what this first year was.
Yeah, running out of that tunnel for the first time against Miami, it was something special. It was like all of my work to that point is, paid in tuition. And it was like a, dream come true. You always dream of that as a kid, and it all hit me at once, when I ran out the tunnel. But it was a pretty cool experience, and I'm just thankful to have that opportunity.
I think, and even from, the fan standpoint, you look around, you played in front of some big crowds in Texas, I know that, but then it's 90,000 people and everybody's yelling and screaming and just that atmosphere. How crazy was that?
Oh man, it was crazy. It was something I'd never imagine. You always dream about it and how it would be, but like once you're out there and you see it and you're in it, it's something different. And I was just, it was an amazing experience.
Well, we're excited to have an amazing experience with you, man. Thank you for coming out to the shop on the 18th, January 18th. You're going to be out there in Gainesville, where the Gator Nation's going to be out. I was telling Jeff just the excitement from fans, people coming in. How do I get my tickets? How do I meet DJ? How do I get something signed? And then people mailing in stuff. So it's going to be awesome. And I was thinking, when you grew up and you were, out there in Willis, Texas, and you're thinking a little bit about your heroes, was there ever an autograph or somebody you wish you had their autograph, in the sports world?
I always, I wish I would have had Michael Jordan's autograph, still to this day, so, that's the autograph that, I wish I could have, so yeah.
That's one of my favorite, man. So I'll have to. I'm glad you said that. When you come in the back room, I'll show you some of the Jordan autos that we have.
Pretty special.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And something else that's certainly special is the way you throw the ball. All different angles, and I think there's stepping with the opposite foot and firing the ball 40, 50 yards down the field. Do you have a favorite deep ball? I mean, I've got one in my head, north end zone corner that was pretty darn special in that first start of the year. But do you remember the throws that you had throughout the year, or you just kind of do it and move on?
As I look back, I kind of, reflect on all of them. But in the moment, it's like it's always the next play with me, but I would say the one in the north end zone, against Sanford, that was pretty, I think that was a pretty good one, and just being able to make the plays, just the linemen and the receivers just doing their part around me. It was just a great play, and I'm, just blessed to have those guys around me.
Are there times where you let the ball go and it worked? I mean, everything, the read was right. The guy ran the route and you knew you threw it well?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. A lot of times, especially in the Kentucky game, to Badge, especially on that post ball I threw to him, definitely, right when I let it out in my hand, I knew it was going to be right on the money. So those are always great to have, and as quarterbacks, that's our goal, to have more of those and be consistent at those. So, yeah.
So DJ, we have this card that just came out, and it's a product called Tops, or Tops puts it out. It's called Bowman Chrome University. And in the set, you're in your iconic image. You got the Gator chomp going on, and I know you know this because your hand probably remembers signing all those sticker signatures, right? So I don't know if you know this though. You're the only guy in that entire set. So all the college football, the university set that Bowman put out, that has any sort of trademark insignia, any sort of hand motion. You're the only guy they put in that. And so I'm just kind of wondering what you thought about that card when you first saw it, and as you're kind of signing all these autographs and stickers for that card. What's your thoughts?
My thought was it's just a blessing. It's always the dream to have a card, and buy Tops and stuff like that. So it's a blessing, and for it to see it out there and like people are buying it and stuff like that, it's truly a blessing. I'm just thankful for it.
Yeah, man. And did you ever collect, or your pops ever collect? Like, you got any stories about cards from the past?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure. My dad used to have shoe boxes full of cards, baseball cards, football cards, all types of cards. I used to go in elementary school and go steal them out the box and go, go try to trade them off and go show them to my friends and stuff like that, and they'll do the same thing. So it's cool,
So he'll have to add some of these new Bowman Chrome cards to his shoe boxes because he's got his son on a card. Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah,
and speaking of your dad, I was standing right next to him during the pro trophy presentation down in Tampa. You're the MVP. Obviously, you win the game, but I think the greatest thing about you is just how you appreciate the teammates. And obviously I think you have talent and you got a chance to be pretty special, but I mean you don't do it without all those other guys. And just you mentioned the word blessing and everything that you say, it's pretty awesome. Like, where does that mindset come from? Just to obviously I think you know how important those 10 other guys on the field are around you.
Just saying with my background, how I was raised, my faith background, I feel like as a kid I've always been instilled in me that you're not doing it by yourself. You know, you always have help of your parents, your teammates, and God most of all. You know, and I feel like just having that support system around me, and it always humbles me because you know what God gives, He can also take. So it's also something that can keep you leveled, and just knowing that you know that you're not doing it all by yourself. It's not a one man show. You know, it's 10 other players out there that are doing their job, if not better, you know, and it's just a blessing to have guys around me that understand that, and everybody understands the goal, and we accomplish it as together.
And that goal is, you know, certainly to keep improving. And, you know, now 3 years under Billy, you could see the rise of this program and where it's going, and everybody now jumping on board. It has to be fun to have that momentum you guys had down the stretch, and now going into the offseason, and you kind of understand what being a college athlete is all about. So this upcoming year's got a chance to be pretty special, doesn't it?
Oh yes, sir. Without a doubt, you know we're gonna work hard this off season, and we're gonna get better, and that's all. You know that's the goal for right now, and you know we're gonna continue to take it one day at a time, and we're excited for what the future holds.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would echo that. The Gator sentiment, man, in the shop. The shop's kind of a cool place, right? Because everybody comes in and talks sports, and they reminisce, and so there's a lot of excitement moving into this next season. And I just think that's it's awesome what you brought. And thinking about that, you know, you come from this small town back in Willis, and I've read, you know, it was one of these things where you wanted to make a name for Willis, right? You wanted to do something for this small town and put them on the map, and you're kind of doing the same thing here because we've had this resurgent, you know, with the DJ Lagway movement and the team movement, you know, and everybody getting behind that. I wanted to ask you a question because I was looking at some stories on you. I know that academics are huge to you, but I also know your heart to give back is like a big thing. So local churches, food banks, elder care, back in Willis, you know, all these things kind of nurtured, and you just mentioned it, how it's grown you. So, like, how does your faith and having just kind of this selfless attitude, the humility, affect you as a QB1, you know, as you lead this team and as you grow this team? Because this is who I am, and it's what's grown me and made me the man I am. I'd love to hear your take on that and how it's grown you in football.
You know, my faith has definitely helped me a lot, you know, just especially playing a quarterback position and like having almost a year under my belt in college. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of naysayers, a lot of people that talk good about you and also talk bad about you. So it's always just reminding like who you're actually playing for. And that's the Lord. You know, it doesn't matter what what people say about you. At the end of the day, it just matters what the Lord thinks of you, and that's who I ultimately play for, and that's how I kind of stay humble and stay grounded each and every day, you know. And I just want to give Him the glory every single time I step on the field, and even on the practice field, and even in meetings, and even on the weight room and stuff like that. So yeah.
I say amen to that, and I know another Gator legend who used to always give props to the Lord, and it rhymed with Ebo. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see, man, just your heart and what you're about. So I know your time's important, and I know you got a lot going on. We always end every segment with our guests with this rapid fire segment, and what I do is I'm gonna hit you hard, just like in drill, like, you know, Coach Napier just running you in drills. I'm gonna hit you with some quick questions, and just tell me what first thing that comes to mind, and we'll see if you can survive it. I think you'll be all right, though, DJ. You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. This is the Meelypod Hobby Podcast with DJ Lagway on the Titan MRI Rapid Fire segment. Here we go. First question. Lake Conroe or Lake Alice?
Lake Conroe.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, that's back in Willis. Madden or NCAA?
NCAA.
Okay. All right. So Jeff is our podcast fashion icon here. I want you to tell me, I know you've seen him on the sideline. Could he pull off the Willis colors, the purple and white?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, he could definitely wear the purple and white for sure.
I look good in purple.
What kind of shoes do you think he'd have on that fit? What would you want to put him in?
You gotta have some dunks, the purple and white dunks. You gotta go purple, like yeah. That'd be yeah.
All right, so we got Jeff. We got a fit for him. We'll have to have him on the sideline one time this year.
Most definitely.
All right, third and long or fourth and one?
Fourth and one.
Okay, I like it. Are you a sneaker or are you a hat guy?
I'm a sneaker. I like sneakers better, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned dunks. I love dunks. Is that your go-to, or do you have a specific go-to shoe?
Yeah, that's probably my go-to. You know, it's kind of you can go athletic fit if you want to, and you can put it on style. So I think you can do both with the dunks. You know, you can't go wrong with them.
DJ the Dunk Man. I like it.
Yeah, love it.
All right, Vols, Bulldogs, or Seminoles? Is anyone worse than the other?
I say Bulldogs that's the worst. I can't. That Georgia. Yeah, nah.
I think so, and
Yeah.
they've run it for a bit. So I know you gave them a scare this year, and we had a scare with the injury. But I know we're gonna be looking for some payback. So I can
Yeah, for
feel
sure.
that, man. All right, favorite Gator tradition. I got 3 choices here. I won't
Okay.
back down, Mr. Two Bits, or orange and blue chants before the game.
I say won't back down. Yeah, I won't back down. Yeah,
Do you,
they
and
can't go wrong with that.
if the offense isn't ready to get back out on the field, if you guys aren't having the ball there, like, do you sit back and soak that in? Do you look
Yes,
around
sir.
and see that?
Yeah, like every time Coach O'Hara, it doesn't really matter like if we got the ball or not. He always comes because I'm always during the game. I'm always very like locked in. I don't really laugh, joke, smile. None of that. I really just stay locked in the whole time. And he just be like, just relax and just take it in, and that kind of gets me kind of resetting and ready for the fourth and gets me going. So yeah, I love that tradition.
Yeah.
We'll have a helmet for you. I don't know if you ever saw them, the Tom Petty helmets that won't back down. They have the kind of insignia. So when you come out to the signing, I'll make sure I give you one before you leave. But they're pretty
Yes,
cool.
sir. Sounds good. Yes, sir.
Okay, last one for you, man. I'll let you get out of here. When it's all said and done here in Gainesville for DJ Lagway, what do you hope that Gator fans will say about you when they hear that name?
I would hope they said that he left it better than he found it in the program. And that's just the goal, and that he he just was a great man off the field. He just gave it his all on the field, and he made a lot of memories for us, and that's what I would hope they would say about me. So.
Since you said memory, we'll add one more to it. Is there one memory this year as you get going that was your favorite?
Yeah, my favorite memory actually it was the pick by Cormani when he did the
yeah, that
Lambo
was
leap.
awesome.
That was pretty cool. So yeah, that was my favorite
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I was standing
Everybody
right there,
came over
like
here.
on the 20-yard line, and everybody just goes brushing by me to go mob them, and then you had that same moment with Rubio, and I think that's what's great about you guys. I mean, and I think DJ, I've been in those football locker rooms for the last 16, 17 years now, and just to see how close you guys are and how great that was. I mean, it's really unlike any other, and I think that certainly has got to be special for what you guys are trying to build here.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to seeing you on the 18th, man. We'll be rooting for you, on and off the field, and we appreciate your time here on the podcast. We'll have to look at some Jordan cards and some other fun stuff when you get to the shop on the 18th, man.
And
All right, yes, sir. Sounds good.
you'll get out to basketball and baseball games and stuff. Like you love getting out there and supporting the rest of the Gator stuff.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yes, sir. I'll definitely be at some games this spring and this winter. So yeah, I'm excited.
So we
To
all
go
know
represent the
baseball's
Gators.
the best sport.
Got the baseball head over here, so.
All right, DJ. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Gators.
All right, go
All right,
Gators.
that is DJ Lagway, back with more on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast right after this. Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans. All right, great stuff with DJ Lagway. Jeff and Jameel back here with you inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and it was just so fun to be around him this year, and you see his presence in the locker room. You see the way he is to his teammates. I think he learned a lot from Graham Mertz and everything, and how to become a really good, just, I guess, locker room person would be the best way to say it. I mean, he's a great dude just in general, and I think the neatest part, especially being around him for the bowl game, he wins the MVP of the bowl game, and none of it was about himself. It was, hey, it's all because of my teammates. So certainly that is the mindset you have to have if you want to make it into the next level, and he's got the talent to do it.
Yeah.
And I know those cards someday are going to be pretty hot commodity.
Yeah, selflessness and humility are just a trait you don't see as much. You wish you would see more. College football, I think, brings it out, but we're lucky to have him, and we're lucky to have him on the podcast, but more importantly here in Gainesville for the Gators, and looking forward to these next seasons. And just seeing what he's going to do. It's just going to be a lot of fun, so much. And you can tell by his leadership, so many other people are following, which is evident in that podcast and talking, or in the interview talking with him today. So
yeah, well, we were talking over the break after our first 6 months of doing this, and I think as we look at different ideas how to go about it, I mean, I think we've loved our interviews, and you just get the insight from a lot of different people. But I think as we try to make this about the hobby and different things too, there's also I think some other things that we're going to incorporate now in 2025.
Yeah. In a future podcast, I'll share with you guys a little bit more personal news, but there's some things that just in terms of the shops, the needs. So we're going to taper back just a little bit with the podcast. So we're going to average 2 to 3 episodes per month. We're going to be doing some really cool things. I'm going to theme a couple months too in March. We'll be looking to celebrate Women's History Month. So we're going to bring a bunch of women in the hobby that are just awesome people. And then in June too, you might want to mark your calendars. We're going to be just doing something really cool with the Father's Day holiday for that whole month with our podcast guests. But we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm also going to focus a little bit too more, Jeff. We got good response from a lot of people on some of the educational stuff that we did. Card ladder, having Chris on, a lot of people just took a lot from that. Justice coming on here just recently over the holidays to talk about grading, just bringing these kinds of things that are a little bit more practical to the podcast. I've always been an educational guy. I don't know if people know this. I taught at UF for 5 semesters in the OT program, so I had a chance to, and I still love to teach. So if that's something we can impart, I want to give you guys all and gals nuggets, as you're here in these listening to our podcast, watching our podcast, because the hobby is ever changing. And I tell you what, like when I got into it in 2018 from a shop perspective, I thought, I can handle this. COVID hits, all right, maybe it's gonna be a little tougher. And then now in 2025, just how quickly everything is moving and shifting from the online to the brick and mortar to just all the different verticals. I want to be able to share that with y'all. Yeah,
it'll be certainly good, and the education has been a big part, just even for me, getting to learn from the best. And ratemyprofessor.com, 4.7 stars.
Look at that.
He did good back in the day.
Look at that. And it wasn't an easy A.
No.
I'll tell you that.
He got a 5-star on Tinder, though. Ooh. So you crushed it.
Yeah, Mayor didn't like that one.
All right, well, we've always crushed the wax segment because it just seems like, I need 10, 12, 15 fingers to count all the boxes. And that's the way it was for Christmas and the holidays and everything else. So as we start 2025, is it kind of the same thing? A lot of stuff happening?
Sure. So Santa's sled was full over December. And there were some weeks we had 14, 12, 9 releases, which is a lot, for a shop. And just thinking about, the major sports, like what are we doing? But I think we're gonna taper into more consistency. Hopefully 7 to 10 releases a week moving forward, January, February. This week, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7 in this week. One of the big ones this week that I'm looking forward to, and it actually released Monday. Monday. Was Bowman University Best Football. So Bowman Chrome University, which we talked with DJ about his card and stuff, is kind of the quintessential Chrome. But they come out with a best university as well, and the football product is absolutely loaded because they limit the production run. So there's tons of low-numbered cards. There's a triple autograph with Montrell, Eugene Wilson, and DJ. There's some really cool cards in this product, and so that's just been a super incredible product every year. And luckily, our shop's been able to get quite a bit of it. So we celebrate that release. That's a big one, Bowman University Best Football. And then the other big one this week is National Treasures Basketball. In the years past, National Treasures Basketball has been massive because of the logo man and the autographs and the true rookie patch. But remember, we don't got Wemby autographs, you know, and so it's going to be a little trickier looking forward to. But his logo man card, his 1-of-1 true logo man, I'm going to estimate will have at least $1 million bounty on it, maybe even more, because of just how incredible he is, and will be his best card.
Yeah.
So that's a wild card to chase this week. It's a very expensive product. Contenders Optic Basketball will be coming out this week. We have Prism Draft Picks Collegiate Basketball, which is cool because you got some of the guys and gals in the league right now. Gators had a tough loss this past weekend to Kentucky, but you can chase a lot of these current players, as well as Caitlin Clark, another product that she's in. And for those you don't know, she's only in 3 WNBA products, Prism coming out later this month. Yeah. So something to think about with Caitlin Clark cards. Star Wars hasn't had a release in a while. They got a product coming out called High Tech. Topps Definitive Baseball is coming out, which is a high-end product. A lot of people love the Definitive. And then one I think you'd love is MLB Archives.
Okay.
It's got a price point of like $140, $145, and then you get 2 autos per box. They're on card. But what they do in Archives is they go back and they take previous sets. I think this year it's 61 72 maybe and 94. Don't quote me on that, but they take the design and then they contemporize it, and so you can pull cards that just look really unique. And the archive set is just kind of a splattering of all different cards in there, so it's a fun set. I always like it. I always say it's the hardest set for our breakers because all the cards look different. You can't tell what the numbering is, and you don't know how to sleeve top of what. But it's just a fun set. A lot of baseball guys love it. So big wax release week. Look forward to hearing what you guys pull. And one thing we want to start on this podcast too is maybe showcasing what's been pulled in Meelypops breaks for the past 2 weeks. If we're going to do this episode every other week. So we'll have some more of that to show, and some of the really cool cards we'll put on screen if you watch on YouTube or Facebook. But if you don't, you can still hear about it, and we'll share with you just kind of some of these pulls. Maybe even have the videos to put up on the screen so you can see how crazy our breakers get.
Well, since we're in Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it made me think about this. But as we talk about these collegiate cards and the Lagway, of course, I mean, what Scadaboo did with Arizona State. So I'm not sure if he's got a card in there. If he does, that's probably legit. But he wins the MVP of that game, although they lost. And I did a lot of research. The last time that somebody was the MVP of the game at Florida in a losing fashion, Steve Spurrier.
Oh, wow.
All the way back in like 1966. So kind of crazy to think about that. You don't often see guys, obviously be that good and get an award when their team loses. So
Steve Scadaboo.
I
mean, that's a feat. You know what I mean? The most recent one that I can think about outside of that was when McDavid last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs won the Conn Smythe, being on the losing team. Just doesn't happen much.
No.
And it just shows Cam Scadaboo's cards have skyrocketed, but also I think for him, he's really helped his draft stock because you have that game. Whereas someone like Cam Ward, everybody and their mother is saying to me, I don't know, it shows a lot about his character now. I don't want to draft him, So it's just interesting seeing where we're at in the college football climate. You can have an incredible career, but just those last few games and how you end, I don't know if it was true or not, but I heard rumors Jeremiah Smith said, I'm just going to declare for the next year's draft to sit out all next season. He didn't say that, but people were suggesting that, and it's like, yeah, maybe because he's so high on the draft.
Sure.
How can you go any higher? So I think that's just a wild thing about college sports is sometimes it's the timing that's so important to get where you need to be.
Yeah, so college sports, professional sports, obviously a fun time of year with the NFL playoffs going on. So best of luck if you're watching your team, and certainly best of luck if you get a good pull in trying to follow those teams throughout January here.
Yeah, and best of luck too not best of luck, but we'll be announcing our winners this week from our giveaway. Yep. We got all those Javi Lopez baseball is one of our guests. We got those Caleb Dressel ski caps. Swim caps, and we have the Topps holiday ornament they're kind of like a grab bag of cards. So we have those. We'll make sure you guys know. So check your DMs if you commented on any of those posts that you were supposed to, and we'll get those out. Kind of a late Christmas present to all of you, and thank you guys for just making 2024 a fun run for us for the podcast.
Yeah, certainly. So, and speaking of that, remember we talked about those advent calendars you got. So I told my fiance about it. I was like, hey, why don't you grab me one of those? And she's like, oh, well, how about this advent calendar from like Bloomingdale's or something? So it ended up costing me a lot more to get a non-baseball one, but it was certainly pretty cool.
So you're going to smell good. You just won't have the good pulls.
I will.
That's
all right.
Okay.
This guy always smells good, looks good. He is Jameel. Certainly check out everything that you can social media-wise with the Meelypop shop and everything that they are doing. Get in the breaks and enjoy all that good stuff. So for Jameel, I am Jeff. We'll talk to you next time on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at noon.